Welcome to the Level Up Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, John. I got my guys here for the night, Mr. Amon, and we got James ready to get into some NFL Week 9 action. There have been a lot of upsets today across the NFL, so we're going to talk about those. We'll get into with the Ravens. We'll talk about the Chiefs Bills game. Who do we see having a better potential for playoff advantage down the road? And we'll talk about the key matchup for tomorrow night with the Seahawks and Commanders. So we'll get into the first question for tonight, and that is with the game that happened on Thursday night. The Baltimore Ravens are now 3-5 and second in their division. What percentage do you give them to make the playoffs? I'll go with you, Amon, and then I'll go to James.
Okay, I'll say 15%. Because currently right now, as it stands, they're number 10 in the conference, the AFC conference, as far as teams go. So I think they're playing catch up because I know Pittsburgh won today, and Pittsburgh leads the division, that particular division. But then just out the AFC West, outside the Raiders, which is my squad, all the other teams have won at least 5 games. So that kind of cancels them out. Then New England has a great record right now. So I give them like 10%. I don't really see them doing too much. They probably make a little noise. They may make a push, but I really don't see them. They were like strong favorites when the season started, but that the last 3 or 4 games slide in the beginning, and then with Lamar getting hurt didn't help. So like 10%.
Okay, you say 10%. Okay. And I'm going to show you the schedule just so you can kind of see, and everyone else can see that as well. This is their schedule the rest of the way. They got next week, they got at Minnesota, they got at Cleveland. Remember, Cleveland is in that division of theirs. They got New York Jets. They got Cincinnati twice on the 27th and the 14th of December. They got Pittsburgh twice, and that's going to be December 7th, and then the end of the year. But they also have, after those games, they got New England on the December 21st at Green Bay the week after that New England game. And then, like I said, they finished the season off with Pittsburgh. So you said you're going to give them 10%?
Right.
All right. James, what are you giving them, man?
Hey, I think Amon's on probably on the mark. I was thinking more like 20 to 25%, and I was just throwing a number out there. But honestly, when I look at the schedule, they got about 5 or 6 games they can actually win. And you got division rivals, and you got team like Pittsburgh, another division rival. You got 2 games against each them. So I think they're gonna probably split against Cincinnati, probably split against Pittsburgh. Because Pittsburgh's a tough team. I'm not gonna say, oh, Baltimore Ravens gonna take both games against them because they ain't been playing good. They weren't playing good before Lamar got there, and then you play a struggling Miami team anyway, who hasn't been playing well to pull off that victory. So, and they won the previous game without Lamar as well, and that was unexpected. But either way, I think they might have 6 or more victories out their schedule. That only puts them at about either 8 or 9 wins. And for them to make it into the playoff, I believe they have to get 10 wins in that AFC conference. They have to get 10-7 to be able to make the playoffs. For them to make it in by winning the division, they could make or win the division if they win 9 games. But the problem is, you look at Steelers lineup or schedule, they could win about 5 games of those what they got remaining. That puts them at 10 wins. So it's gonna be hard to make the playoffs without having that 10 win and at least in the AFC. So here we go.
So and then just to clarify, Mod, you got 10%. James, you give him about 25?
20%,
20%?
but that's just throwing a number out there.
Okay.
Realistically, when I
Okay.
put the math together, they really don't have much of a shot. But everybody got a chance. So yeah, I'll just say 20%.
Okay. I'm
Because
gonna
I,
give
I I I think if they play well enough, if they really start playing Baltimore's football like last year, they can
mhm.
sneak an extra win in. I say 5-6 wins. That only gets you to 9 if you get 6. But if they play like they play, they probably could steal another one of those games, and here you go. So yeah, 20%, 25% is fair.
I'm gonna give them just based off of this. We understand, okay, they got to go to at Minnesota. And Minnesota, that was a shocker today, seeing them beat the Lions.
Yeah,
But
that
that's
was a
good
shock.
though. And McCarthy hadn't played a few weeks since his injury. So if they're playing like that defensively, you got Aaron Jones in the backfield. He's starting to come out. You got Mason Steele. Justin Jefferson always gonna be Justin Jefferson. You got Addison. I'm not sure if they got the ball to Hawkinson much today, but
He got a touchdown. It
he
was
did
like
get a
three.
touchdown.
Yeah, he
Okay.
got 3 catches with a touchdown.
Okay. So they're using him now. I mean, in the offense. So it really, I think it's going to really determine if, if they playing them, that's going to be a tough game because it's at Minnesota. Other than that, Cleveland win, Jets win. Cincinnati with the defense they're playing, and they might be having Henderson on the trade block. We'll talk about that in a minute. Win, I should say, and that should be probably both wins, both time they play them. So I got that as one, two, three, four. That's 4 wins right there. If they split with Pittsburgh, that's 5. And they're gonna have tough games with at Green Bay and then playing New England at home. So me personally, I'm gonna give them a 40% chance to make the playoffs just because in that division, Cleveland's not doing anything. Cincinnati just with their defense, they're not doing anything. They offensively, yeah, they're gonna give you something. They're a juggernaut to deal with offensively, but with Flacco. But other than that, defense, man, that was one of the things that was frustrating. I seen that they showed Jamar Chase coming off the field after the game, and all he was saying in like going to the locker room was, "Man," he said, "Man, one stop, one," and that what he said. He said one effing stop. But anyway,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get what I'm saying. He was pretty pissed off that they did not, take care of business, especially when they came out the gate. I mean, they came out the gate swinging. They ran a kickback from like 90 some yard touchdown run out the
See,
gate, and they still found a way to lose. So
I mean,
that's why I say, man, I give them about 40% chance.
like I say, only reason I wouldn't give them that much, like I said, because if you look at the whole conference,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, New England, Indianapolis, they say Denver, Kansas City, the Chargers, they all have better records
Right.
than, so they'll have to go on one heck of a run because I can't really see them guys like really losing in too many more games.
And I'll throw this in there as well, just to let you everybody know. With that, it's all about the division. Somebody from that division has to go to the
That's
playoffs.
true.
So if the division
Exactly.
starts losing, let's just say they could have a losing record with I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
I've seen that before. Yeah,
Yeah, it's happened before. Yeah. So
No, so check it out. Yeah, like you said, Amon is correct, but yeah, John, you two are correct on that point. But remember what I just said. For them to make it in, they have to win the division. They're
right,
not gonna make the play because only seven
right,
teams make the playoffs. Three
right.
can make it from Kansas City Chiefs division alone. 3 teams can make it, right? All 3 teams, top teams are targeted to
Yeah.
make it. And then one division has to have one, but
One,
mostly
yes.
2, 3, and 2, 1, and then the other one has one. And then it has to be a division winner. But right now, you have to say Pittsburgh is going to play terrible for the rest of the time, and they can't win 5 games. They're already at 5 wins already. 5 wins
Right.
get them at 10-7. And like you said, Baltimore would have to win 7 games pretty much to go yeah, to make it in. They have to win 7 of their last 10 or
Yes.
7. Or
At
what's the
least
record
about
right now? They're three
let
and three and
me check, let me
five.
check.
3 and 5. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yep.
3 and 5. Yeah. So they got to go 7-2 to make it. They got some tough teams. They haven't been playing well. So just because Lamar's back, they were 1-3 before Lamar got injured. So something got to change for them. They got to play better defense. A lot of things got to click and switch. But anyway, good luck with your
And
40% chance. They
and
just
and and let me just say this as well. And the reason why I went with that, this is who Pittsburgh has to play. Pittsburgh has to play next week. They play at Los Angeles Chargers. They play the Bengals. They got to go to Chicago.
mm-hmm,
They play the Buffalo Bills
mm-hmm,
at Baltimore. You never know what you're going to get with the Miami Dolphins.
yeah.
And then they're at Detroit. That's a tough game. At Cleveland, just because they know each other, they're in the division. You never know what you're going to get with that either. They maybe the rookie is getting better at that time. I don't know. And you still got Miles Garrett that plays there on defense.
So
exactly.
And
so just count your possible wins, just like you did for
yeah, so
Baltimore.
so for
Count
me
count your
personally, for
possible wins.
Pittsburgh, I mean, I'm going to say they're going to lose automatically with Buffalo.
Hey John, put Pittsburgh's schedule on the screen.
I thought that's
Okay,
what he
give me a
had up.
second.
Oh, yeah.
Let me
Yeah,
get
just do your math. Just do like you just did. Baltimore could win 5, 6 or 7, whatever you
get it
said.
right
I
quick.
forgot how much you said they could win.
We'll get them real quick. Let's
Yeah,
see
and
here.
I gave Baltimore a good chance. I said a good amount of wins. I said 5, 6 wins. 6 wins a lot. Seven, you
I
really have
give
to do great to win seven.
honestly,
And then
I give Baltimore 4 wins. I'm just being honest with you. I see them splitting with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, and the rest
yeah,
of them like iffy.
because Cincinnati right now their offense is really good. Baltimore's not playing great defense neither.
All
So
right,
what? You're gonna
this is
have
what we
yeah.
got. This is what you got left with Pittsburgh. They're at Los Angeles.
Count your wins as you go. Win one. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so Pittsburgh. I'm gonna say they lose to Los Angeles.
What? Okay, sure.
It's at Los Angeles, hey, and it's not like Herbert ain't playing good, and they don't have they got their players back.
Oh, you
I
talking
think
about the Chargers? I thought you
yeah,
were
the
talking about
Chargers,
Vegas. I thought you were
the
talking about
Chargers,
Vegas. Okay, yeah, yeah, okay.
yeah. So Cincinnati, I say they win, so that's one win.
Mm-hmm.
At Chicago, I'm not saying Chicago is scary on defense, but they at least have offense. You saw that today. But I know they're not playing. And Pittsburgh hadn't been the same defense we've seen either.
Yeah, then they're not. But
And
count on the Pittsburgh team, what you're seeing now, and these other teams, what they're playing
let's just
like
say
right now.
let's say
Yeah,
they win that. So let's
exactly.
give them
Let's just
two.
do that.
Let's
Exactly.
give them two. Buffalo, that's a loss. At Baltimore, I'm gonna say it's a loss. Miami, I'll give them that. That's three. At Detroit, loss. Cleveland, I say they should win. That should be
Yeah.
four.
Yeah.
And then it's a toss up between the last one with the Baltimore.
Exactly. That's why I said they probably can get 5 victories out of the last one. So that could put them at 10-7.
I guess I'm just one of those ones. I got more faith right now with Baltimore just because not on that last game. I don't know if you guys saw it, but they got Roquan Smith back. Hamilton was back, and they had those are the key players or leaders on their defense from the linebacker standpoint, safety, and they hadn't had those guys. They haven't. It's like three key guys they had out for those last 3 to 4 weeks. And I guess I wasn't paying attention to that. Now
I
I know
guess
they was atrocious in the early part of the year, but now they have those guys back, and you saw the game. I don't know if you guys watched the game, but they
I
played a
mean
whole lot
really
better.
I don't put too much stock into because it was the Dolphins. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, but
No, I mean the
The
Dolphins still
Dolphins
a
just
professional
beat one of the
team.
teams that we weren't expecting to beat the week prior to.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, but I
they
mean,
get lucky occasionally. You
yeah.
can't depend on Dolphins' luckiness. They get lucky to win a game. Man, that team is struggling bad, man. Well, didn't they lose last week? This week here?
I just say, hey, it can happen any week. Look what the Indianapolis coach went out and laid an egg today against the
Oh
Steelers.
yeah, eventually it's gonna happen.
Like five turnovers in the
I
game.
know Indianapolis wasn't going, completely one loss that long. I
Yeah,
actually figured they were gonna lose soon here, just like I expect the Jets to win soon. They wasn't gonna go undefeated, without wins. So and it
yeah,
happened last week. I wanted to pick them, but they were struggling and hurting with injuries. So eventually, his team playing well or playing poor, they're gonna get a victory eventually. So
yeah.
but I didn't expect to happen this week
We'll
still.
see, man. I don't know. I got a little bit more faith in John Harbaugh and the Ravens squad than most. Just
Yeah.
because I think the games and matchups that they have, I think they're gonna be more favorable for them going down the road. We'll see though. We'll see. All right, we're going to the next question for the night. And that question involves what team would you like to see make a trade before the NFL trade deadline on Tuesday and for what player? James, I'll start with you and then I go to mine.
I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Their running game right now has been non-existent. They're not running the ball well. I think they need someone on the line, offensive lineman, to really help them. And I was thinking, well, and I'm like, maybe they just need, Pacheco to replace Pacheco. But I'm like, no, that's not the answer. Pacheco has been a beast, and I think what it is just offensive lineman, offensive line. I know it's weak there, so I think they just need to pick somebody up. And right now, looking at the market, I was looking to see who's available, but ain't too many options. I mean, I got Cody Whitehair, who's playing for Vegas right now, and he's got 1 year deal. So perhaps maybe they could push for a trade for a veteran offensive lineman. Who else? I think there's one more person. Trying to think who's available. But either way, I can't see too many options, right now for them. But they can get a veteran lineman.
Okay. Amon, what say you, man? What kind of trade would you like to see? And from what team?
Um, because the market really not good to me this year. It's like to me the crown jewel would probably be his name Bryce Hall, not Bryce Hall,
Brees Hall.
Brees Hall, yeah. And now Dr. Jets let him go. To be honest with you, kind of like James said, Kansas City, they shore up their line and get a good lineman. And heck, I mean, trade for Hendricks from Cincinnati. You know,
Okay.
I say trade for him because I mean, because really, I think they expect Chris Jones to do like all the heavy lifting. I think he needs some help as far as like defensively, because like it seems like Mahomes and they doing their part, but the defense is just like hadn't really been good like the last couple of games. So I say it's crazy. It might sound like so they in the division with my squad, but I say either get a running back for Hendricks for Kansas City. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But
So
Shaq Mason might be another good idea. It's like there's not too many,
Yeah,
names you could really think they could trade for right now.
so let's
because
look at the teams that there's just like losing.
Miami
Okay,
said they're not
so
getting rid of Waddle. So
right. So I did see Waddle's name in there for potential, but there it's all depends on what they're asking. Now, in regards to Brees Hall on the screen, they're asking the Jets are asking at least for a third round pick.
That's it.
That's all they're asking for. And I'm reading
Oh
it
my
as we speak.
goodness.
They're looking for is a third round pick in return.
Man,
Because Hall is in his
dude.
final year of his rookie deal. And so they're looking at getting maybe more value or more picks, assets in the draft next year. I don't know. Maybe they see something we don't.
I mean,
Uh,
Jesus.
the other thing that you guys were saying, yeah, Trey Henderson will be one. One of the names I saw recently was Rashid Shaheed out of the New Orleans Saints, as well as Chris Olave.
right.
Uh, maybe possibly somebody needs, and the reason why I want to bring that up, the talks was Buffalo Bills would like to have a more of a presence at wide receiver when it comes to that playoff picture. Maybe Rashid Shaheed will do that for him, or Olave for Buffalo Bills. That's the one I would like to see. I wouldn't mind seeing Rashid Shaheed going and catching some balls from Josh Allen. That would be kind of nice.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I mean, and the reason why I say that is because even though they won today, out of those last few matches, we're going to get into the Bills and Chiefs in a minute, so I'm not going to say too much on it. But yeah, you beat them in the regular season, but really, what really counts for that matchup is in the playoffs. We'll touch on that later, but that's the trade I wouldn't mind seeing. I wouldn't mind seeing Rashid Shaheed maybe get out of there. Another name before I let you guys rebuttal, Calvin Ridley playing with the Titans, and they don't have anything going on there. He's a veteran. He does have a contract in place, but I don't think his contract is too steep where they can't bring him out and then pay him at least for the last couple of years, and then ask for some money from the Titans if you want to get a trade for him because he's getting older, but he's still. I think
Right.
he had like 600 and something yards
Yeah.
reception wise last year, or actually more than that last year. So Calvin really is still a good guy, but it's just for whatever is going on with that offense in the Titans, it
Like,
is
I
not working.
mean, we
So
were just talking about before the show started. How about getting Calvin Ridley on Carolina's team to put on the other side?
that would be good. Yep, that would be good.
Jacoby Myers. I mean, he been trying to like
Jacoby Myers is a name, yes, out there.
so.
It's a few teams actually looking at Jacoby Myers. I think
Yeah,
Pittsburgh is one of them. But it's kind of crazy. They're not even getting the ball. Pittsburgh is not even getting the ball, at least after the last 2 weeks. To Metcalf. They're not even getting the ball to Metcalf.
I don't know. I think
Not
Metcalf every time like Rogers targets him, but I think the defense zone like when they played Cincinnati and lost, they were sticking Metcalf. They were like
and that's the thing. Yeah, you get that trade and maybe, it kind of gets the eyes off of him and
yeah, because they know you're gonna
yeah,
throw it to Metcalf.
right.
Well,
So we'll see, man. That's it's coming up. It's coming up Tuesday, so that's when the deadline is going to end. We'll see what they come up with. All right, moving on to the next question is with these guys here. So the question is between the Chiefs, which are now 5-4, and the Bills, which are now 6-2, which team needed that win more for a potential road rematch in the playoffs? Which we know now, the Bills did just win. But I'll start this one off. Me personally, I would say that the Bills needed, but not just because of the win, just because it's regular season.
mhm.
I say they needed that win more because they want to see, okay, this is how we line up to them right now. But we know Patrick Mahomes is going to give us his best blow in the playoffs if it comes down to that. So they want to see what can we improve that maybe we didn't show enough of today, even though we won, we got the win. What can we do to get better that we can show for down the road? Me personally, I mean, the run game I think was okay. I think it was pretty decent with Cook. That may be more. They may want to control the clock more in the game, maybe down in the road if they have to play them again. But as we just were speaking about just before, having that 1-2 guy like Mahomes has Rasheed Rice now and he has Worthy on the outside for them. I wouldn't say that Josh Allen can say he has that. So that's why I'm hoping that maybe they get a pick up a receiver in the trade deadline. Maybe not too super flashy, but somebody that can at least make a deep threat when it comes down time for that, so they cannot crowd the line of scrimmage. What say you, James? And then I go to Mont.
Man, I agree with you 100% because I picked the Chiefs to win this game because it always seems like the Bills just really doesn't have don't have enough offensive weapons really to really beat top teams like a Kansas City Chief whose
Right.
offense been clicking with we're having Rashee Rice back, it shows because he's been balling, but so I picked the Chiefs to win, but here you go, the Bills winning, but the Bills needed this more because they need to prove that they can actually dominate the Kansas City Chiefs and take that into the playoffs because that's where it matters. If you could, dominate, beat them now, and I'm not talking about just beating them, dominate them,
Yeah,
and you
dominant. Yeah,
carry that
that'd
into
be
the
nice.
playoffs. That shows that hey, we've made up the difference now, and we could beat this team, and that momentum and that what I'm saying, and that energy really helps. But they barely beat them. It was still even a close game even now. So it really doesn't show. Even though you got the victory, it doesn't really show that you could really say, "Hey, I really could beat this team," because you've been doing it already in the regular
Right.
season previously. So what's changing now? But like you say, yes, the Bills, they do need something else on offense, and I think it's really a star wide receiver is what they need. I'm nothing against Shakur, but they just need another top receiver. That's one of those guys you can go to deep and do whatever
Mhm.
because, like you said, coming up on the line, but yet they still get the ball to their tight ends and they still able to move the ball. Josh Allen using his legs, but that could only go so far. And that's why they're not winning. I think it's always something in their element that they're missing.
Let me throw this in there before you go, Amon. If I was to tell you guys who was the Buffalo Bills leading receiver in that game, who would you say it was?
Kincaid, probably, because
You're
Kincaid had a couple deep passes.
Kincaid. He had 6 catches for 101 yards.
Mm.
He averaged about 16.8 yards a catch, one touchdown. The next person that was closest was Shakir. He had 7 catches for 43.
Hmm.
Go ahead, Ahmad. What do you say about this game?
I thought Kansas City needed more actually
Okay.
because really outside of New England, that's who Buffalo fighting as far as like to win the conference because the Dolphins and the Jets aren't going to like do that this year anyway. And then like I said earlier, right now with Kansas City losing, the Broncos won, the Chargers won,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
they lost momentum with that. And then like I said, the Colts still have more wins, so it's kind of like the window is closing, so they need to win more. Um, and like Pittsburgh, like y'all just said about the division, if Pittsburgh does win, that's another spot that's going to be going to Pittsburgh. So Kansas City is pretty much playing for a wild card position at this point in time. And
Yeah,
they,
but oh, sorry. Go ahead, Amon.
I'll say they're not really like dominating like they have in years past either. But I just feel like Kansas City. I picked Kansas City. Had I known they're playing Buffalo, I probably picked Buffalo. I thought they were playing in Kansas City. But yeah, I think Kansas City like needed to win more so than Buffalo. I think Buffalo could afford to lose and still been all right. But
So let me go to the standings right now. Buffalo in that division or that conference, they're 4-1. New England's 4-2. Dolphins and Jets, not even let's not even mention their name. No. Um, Out of the AFC West for Kansas City, Broncos are 4-2. But remember those matchups early in the year when Chargers started off the year playing in Kansas City, I think
mhm,
in Mexico. Chargers are 5-1 in the conference. I
right,
think they beat everybody at least once first.
right,
So now they're about to go around and play them again. So if the Chargers could actually think maybe get 2 more wins, they'll have that division locked up.
yeah. So I mean,
But Amon, just to rebut a little bit on what you said, right? So with Kansas City, if you really think about it, not too long ago we was talking about on the show, hey, if Kansas City go 0-3, what's the chance we think making the playoffs?
Hmm.
Now we're talking about from 0-3 to being 5-3 this game before they took this loss. A win would have put them at 6-3, which is pretty much what the top teams are doing right
right.
now. So they take the loss to go 5-4. I
Yeah.
mean, from 0-3 talks to 5-4 right now. That's what I was saying anyway. They had a great chance to still make the playoffs because the schedule they can make up some wins. And I feel like they're gonna get that 10th win to just barely make it in. That's what I had said then. And I mean, right now, I think they're more on target than expected for me at least.
Yeah, they're scheduled the rest of the way. Next week, well actually, they got a bye week. So they get some things together after that bye week. So after that though, they come out, they play at Denver on the 16th. Then they play at home Indianapolis Colts. Thanksgiving week they play at oh, that'd be a great game. They'll be at Dallas. I love to
Mm,
see that offense against that defense.
mm.
The week after that, on December 7th, they got Houston Texans, solid defense. Offense hadn't been clicking. Then they have December 14th, the Chargers. Then they have at Tennessee Titans. They
That's a
have
win.
Denver one more time on Christmas, and then they finish off the year at the Las Vegas Raiders.
Hmm.
So they got some games that are looks like some easy layups, but
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
it's going to be
some
some
gotta
tough
be
ones, I
trap
think,
games
with
though.
the playing the Broncos. Broncos are not the same Broncos. I would say that.
Yeah, they're not the same Broncos. Their offense is still not clicking though. But their defense, I mean, yeah, granted, they scored 30 points against the Giants, but it's the Giants
It's the Giants,
on the
yeah.
fourth quarter. And then they,
They could barely
scored
score any points
higher.
today against the Texans.
Exactly. And they couldn't barely scored before that as well. Their defense been what's been keeping them in the games lately.
Yeah. It just reminded me of somebody with Bo Nix. Bo Nix almost reminded me of Jordan Love. They sometimes it's like when they see a team, it's like they play down to the competition. I don't know what it is. Anyway,
Mhm.
we'll go on to question number 4 for the night, and that is in Ben Johnson's offense with the Chicago Bears. Does Caleb Williams look improved to you from the eye test, from what he shows you just with your eyes? Amon, I go to you, and then I go to James, and then myself last.
He looks to me. He looks like he's gotten better. I know we were talking about him holding the ball. I think he didn't hold the ball as much. He still holds it too long. But I'm thinking that's more so probably a product of Lincoln Riley's coaching system of holding the ball for like a long time. He was at Oklahoma and USC.
Okay.
It's something that can be fixed. And Ben Johnson proving that he's the better coach because for some reason I don't know why Chicago. Well, every time Chicago gets an offensive minded coach, they don't really fare that well under them. But saying he's the first offensive minded coach they've had in a while is actually bringing like bringing players to play. But he looks better than me. I mean, like I know last year he was running for his life because maybe because he holding on ball too long. I think he was sacked like 62 times last year,
Yeah,
and
a
he
lot of
was rookie
sacks.
season, which is like crazy. That's a lot of times we get hit. You know, I mean, and they still won a decent amount of games.
But
So
just
I'm
look
gonna
at from
say
this
he's gotten
standpoint,
better.
they're 5-3. I will say that
Yeah,
in the division.
yeah. I mean, but like I said, but they had to be like they were like the first pick to pick him. So I know 5 games ain't squat, but you only win 1 game. It's like okay, steady improvement. So
Yeah,
and plus that's a tough division anyway, the
it is.
black and blue division. So
James, what do you say about it, man? Watching his games, do you think that Caleb Williams is really improving, or do you think he still has some things that you like? I want to see a little bit more.
So yeah, I could easily say I want to see a little bit more, but nonetheless, the question is he improving? He's definitely improving. Kind of looking at his numbers, if you stack his numbers from last year to this year, he's actually playing similar. His numbers look very similar. Only difference when you look at his numbers, what you see, what makes a difference is his QB rating is 3 points higher. Which is good, and then his QBR is 10 points higher as well. It's his adjustment quarterback rating. So, and that's a big difference. That's good to see a 10-point increase in that. So it kind of showed that he's trusting himself more, right? Trusting himself more, getting the ball out a little bit quicker than last year. And if you look at the big difference on that is the sack difference. Like Amon said,
Yeah,
62, but I thought it was a little bit more sack last year. But either way, he only got 12 sacks
12 sacks. That's it.
allowed to him this year, which means that's a big difference. So you're on track now to be way less than, way greater than 50% less sacked than you were
Mhm.
a year ago, which is a big difference to allow you to be able to get the ball to your guys, and be able to have a time to really read the defense a little bit more. So that could be either the offensive line's blocking a little bit better, or yeah, his, getting rid of the ball a lot quicker. But either way, his numbers show. If you look at some games, you're like, man, it's Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
He's playing well. Even this game right here against
The Bengals.
a subpar Bengals
Yeah.
defense. He put up 40 something. We ain't talking about
47
fantasy, but
points.
put up 40 some fantasy points, which means he was passing the ball, over 300 plus yards passing. So I mean, he's passing the ball. He's looking a lot better than last year, which to me is impressive. So I see it just by looking, from an standpoint. Yeah, he's looking better.
And
Well,
the reason why I wanted to bring that up, I was listening to a few talk shows this past week, and that was the one thing that they were saying in there was that in some of those games, if you watched them early on this year, he the one thing they trying to knock on him was that he was holding the ball still, kind of similar to what he was doing last year. If that's your only knock, then man, I mean that just tells you right there they're getting better because they're winning. They weren't winning last year; they were
right.
losing the same games last year. So they're
Yeah.
scoring more points. They're running the ball, and even in the game, it's to me it looks like he's having more fun. I mean, today they did a trick play around the goal line in the red zone area. Hand the ball to the running back passes off the receiver, and back to him, basically doing the the same play that the Philadelphia Eagles did with back in the Super Bowl. Same play, Philly special is basically what they did. But he caught the touchdown pass, and it just looks like that he's enjoying himself a lot better this year. Now, granted, in that game, I know they were going against a juggernaut with Flacco uh, throwing the ball like he was to Chase and to Higgins. Some long passes. I think Flacco even had 400 and some yards passing in the game.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so the one thing I think with their whole team as a standpoint, that defense could definitely get better, but look at the Bears. They stuck up with him the whole time. So that's the main
Right.
thing. They're getting better in regards to that. And out of that game, I don't remember seeing anything where he turned the ball over either. So I would definitely say he's passing the eye test.
Yeah,
What do
I
you say,
want
Mark?
to say, no, James was correct. I just looked it up. He had 68 sacks last year.
Yeah, I thought
Yes.
that's what it
Yeah,
was.
Yeah. He's only got 12 right now.
right. And I think it helped that Ben Johnson is just what 39 years old,
Yes.
40, 39.
Yes.
So you don't have a person from like you have somebody who can like I guess be on your level, so to speak. 'Cause, I mean,
Hmm.
Caleb Williams is not like a big gap. It's not like Mari Schottenheimer trying to coach a young dude.
Yeah.
So I think Ben Johnson let them play and have fun.
And that's
That's
the
like
other thing.
Jared
Yeah,
Goff.
when Ben Johnson, before he got there, he wanted to coach Caleb Williams. So
Right.
I'm pretty sure for Caleb Williams, is good to have somebody that's like that guy likes me
Yeah.
before I got here, and then he
Hmm.
wants to see me get better and is helping me to get better. So yeah, man,
That's
I
right.
think he's
Yeah.
passing our test. For those that are really hating on Caleb Williams, I think they're looking at other players and trying to compare,
They,
and
they,
we
they
can't
saying he's
compare
soft.
Caleb Williams to Drake May. Drake May is in a different type of system, got a different type of offense, different type of defense on that team that
Right.
he has, and they're just looking at the fact, oh, he's winning, he's winning. What about Caleb Williams? He's winning too, actually, if you really
Yeah,
look at it.
Right.
So,
yeah, he is.
all right, so we'll move on to the last question for the night. In that regards, in this game, that's going to be for tonight, and that's going to be for Sunday Night Football. And the question is, what needs to happen for the Commanders to pull off the upset on the Seahawks? Mon, I go to you. I go to James next, and then myself last.
Oh, what happens? Joe Gibbs needs to come out and retire. Well, I'm being funny. Um, this is a winnable game for the Commanders. I mean, I can't remember who I picked. To be honest with you, I
I
think
think
it
you
just
pick
needs
on.
to really just play your game. Don't try to like force the ball. If something ain't there, don't throw it to the receiver. I know he been trying to feed the ball to Debo.
I'm on. You picked the Seahawks.
I picked Seahawks. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't remember. Okay, but I think watching it, is the old saying, you believe your own press clippings. They were so good last year. They wouldn't expect to be so good last year. So I think they feel like it's pressure this year to like be better than they were
Yep.
last year. And they got new management. New ownership. They rejuvenate the fan base. Now people scared that Jaden Daniels is gonna be like another RG3 because he's been getting hurt, like little nagging injuries lately.
Hmm.
So I say, I think you just like just block out the outside noise and just play your game. But it's kind of hard with this day and age of the internet and your friends calling and your sports pundits saying, like I know one point in time they were saying, CJ Stroud up until like lately was like the man. And I was like, hey, last year Jaden Daniel, what happened to you? So just play your game. Just don't like block out the outside noise.
All right. And just to let everybody know, yeah, the Seahawks are actually just favored, believe it or not, only by 2.5 points, so a field goal. What do you got, Jane?
I mean, think about it though. Like it's gonna be a good game. Like I
Right.
picked the Seahawks to win, but it's not like by a blowout or by a lot neither.
Right.
It's just two good teams playing. I think Commanders they still on track. They still tracking the like as far as the team how they playing. I think that defense is the defense is not playing great right now, and I think their offense got thrown for a loop. Even though they picked up Debo, I thought they were gonna be a lot better. But anyway, back to that. What they can do, honestly, what they need to do, if they have a chance, I think they need to just play defense, pressure Sam Darnold. Throw some blitz here and there. Don't give Sam Darnold time, in the pocket to carve up the defense. Make sure he makes the have him make that quick decision. So he doesn't have time to let big plays develop with Smith and Jimba. So quick, easy.
Me personally, I think what do they need to do to get the upset? It's really gonna have to, as you just said, it's gonna have to take, yeah, Commanders gotta play some defense, but somebody on the offense has to step up and place a Terry McLaurin, and he's gonna be missing his fifth game of the season. You already had, Jay McDaniels missing games, we had Mariota backing him up. So a lot of those losses came from, I think, from that. But do what you did last year. It's something similar where if he just uses his feet, and I know that's a chance when you're going up against a tough defense like Seattle, but use your feet, get around, just give those guys a little bit more time if you got receivers running around, and then hit that open one. That's one thing he's been great for since he was at LSU and Arizona State before that is to buy some time, get some of those other guys involved. Terry McLaurin, he's out tonight. So Debo, yep, he's got to maybe do a little gadget plays here, there, maybe even a couple running plays. But he's definitely going to need more help, and he needs that line to block for him. If they want to blitz or whatever the case is, man, they got to hold up their end of the bargain, and that's the only way they're going to pull off an upset like that. Because yeah, Seattle is one of the tougher defenses. I know they're quietly talked about, but they're one of the better defensive in the NFL, especially behind McDonald in that defense that he brought over from Baltimore Ravens. So. That's what I see if they gotta get that up, if they're gonna get the upset tonight. All right, well, that'll do it for tonight's show. Continue to like and subscribe to us. We appreciate you. We got a few more weeks before Thanksgiving. So you guys, until then, till next time we come on, stay blessed and have a great week.
All right, level up, fellas.
Level up.